Yeah, hi there. I'm here in my parents' garden. I'm just doing some housekeeping, yeah. And yeah, using the time for doing some handiwork in the shack, doing some tempers for friends, something like that. So, a little break now, and smoking my Serge Couple. So that's a big one. I like that one. It's quite reliable, great taste. A big bowl, and that's the right thing for the tobacco I want to talk about today. Well, so Jill Cassidy, he asked me, well, can't you do a video about your daily rotation? So I said, yeah, I will do that as soon as I have a daily rotation. So that means there's so much tobacco on the market, so many good things. So I can't really decide for my daily rotation before I tried each and every one of it. So, but that's not the whole truth. The truth is, you always have some tobaccos you reach out for more than once and again and again. And one of these tobaccos, yeah, I call one of my favorite tobaccos. This is this one. It's the Dark Twist. So that's a tobacco I think that's quite well known. Anyway, for those who don't, I want to talk about that anyway. So the Dark Twist roll cake. So what do they say about the tobacco? Oh, it's in German. I have to translate that. So Mac Baren, that's one of a few producers who really has an eye for craftsmanship. That's what they say. And they have a method of producing this Dark Twist that's 200 years old. And this is really responsible for the great taste it provides. So, okay, it's a tobacco rope, so they spin the tobacco. It's a spun. And the thing about this is they take Virginia, they say very carefully selected Virginia, and they combine it with a little bit of Cavendish, and this whole thing is done with whole leaves. So they don't cut the tobacco first and then do some kind of pressing with it. So they really do a roll. So with whole tobacco leaves, Virginia, Black Cavendish, and then they also have that's really strange. They don't write it here on the tin, but I know they add Kentucky, of course. So this tobacco is for me it is a Kentucky tobacco. So main component is Virginia for the sweetness, yeah, for everything that Virginia can provide. But the moment you light it up, you know it's a Kentucky. So I show you the tobacco. There's an interesting thing about it. So first, when you see it, that's strange. You think there's some kind of flaw in the production, because have a look on yourself. Well, I hope you can see that. So the thing is, some of them have a bull's eye, so a black point in the middle, and that's the Kentucky, the dark-fired Kentucky. But some of them don't. So first you think it's a flaw in the production. No, they want it that way. They say every third of the coins, every third has a black point. So a Kentucky part in it. So and they say that's a very special thing for packing, so you can decide how to pack. You want to have more coins with Kentucky or for another smoke not. But the Kentucky, of course, diffused into the taste diffused into the whole tobacco, so it's a Kentucky. So and the smell is Virginia, and you can also smell a little bit of the Kentucky. It's rich, it's a little bit earthy, roasty perhaps. So what? It's very natural and nice. During the production process, of course, they use the molasses to water the tobacco, for the humidity, for the whole process of fermentation. So that's what they do, and that's what you also taste when you light it up. You know two things, I think. Number one, you know it's a Kentucky tobacco. So you really can taste the fine Virginia notes, the sweetness of the Virginia, even a little bit of citrus, some people say, I don't know. I think it's quite a very small hint of hay in it, but in a good way. So it's not disturbing, but in this moment you know it's a Virginia. So that's the reason you want to go slow on it. You don't want to push it too hard. You don't want to go too hot on it. Otherwise, it's getting a bit nasty. So then it's getting too hot, too moisty, a little bit too sharp. Then, but only then. If you go slow on it, it's really a delicious tobacco. So the combination of the Virginia and the Kentucky, I think that's really, it really works. So, and then second thing, you know, the moment you light it up, the second thing is it's a Mac Baren. So you know all the proud companies, or not all the proud companies, but many of these companies, they have a special taste. So let's say Cornell and Deal, you know it's a Cornell and Deal. Let's say McClelland, well you know it just. Or HU tobaccos. For me, every HU tobacco, I think, well, I know it's really an HU tobacco. So because of a special company-like taste, and it's the same thing when it comes to Mac Baren. So it's often described as a bit too honey or a bit honey flavor. I don't know. It has a kind of sweetness. I think it's. I think the reason is the molasses they use to water the tobacco for the fermentation process. So there's something special about it that you always know it's a Mac Baren then. So these are two things you will find out very quickly. So, and there's another thing. They say they produce it very traditional, and really they do it like they did it 20, 30, 40 years ago in a traditional way. And I think I have a proof for it, because my good friend Göksel, the fallen one, he visited a flea market some days ago, and he found a man who sold old tobaccos. For him it was not aged tobacco, it was old tobacco. So I think he paid 80 cents for this very special tin. So this tin, I think it is from the 70s, so it's about 40 years at least, I think. And we met and we opened this little tin, and guess what? The tobacco was absolutely smokable, so humidity was absolutely alright. And yeah, we packed our pipes, and I enlightened my pipe, so I started to smoke, and from the first moment, the first thing I said to him was, well, it is really a dark twist. So I can taste it. So the taste is really a dark twist. So I'll show you the tobacco. So you see, the aging process has done its part, so it is very dark now. But you can also see some brighter parts in it still, and yeah, smells delicious. A bit leather-like, so a bit like leather. Very woody and earthy, so without any sharpness. So sweet. Yeah, it really smells delicious, and it's the same thing when it comes to the taste. But that didn't make me wonder. So a good tobacco of that age and in perfect condition, well, anything you perhaps could have complained about before is gone then. Every sharpness, everything that could be disturbing is gone then. But what was really interesting for me was that I really can identify the dark twist from the first moment when I smoke it. So, and absolutely, it is perhaps a bit softer, a bit sweeter even, a bit rounder. Okay, well, that's what I expected. But the typical Mac Baren dark twist note is still in this tin. So that was interesting for me. Yeah. So the dark twist is one of my favorites. Something, yeah, something I reach out for sometimes. Not all the times, but often. So, if you like the Kentuckys, a bit stronger stuff, so that something, something really tobacco, I would say. If you like this kind of stuff, you should give it a shot. So there's no guarantee that you will like it. The taste is special and it's a Mac Baren taste. So, but anyway, I think it's a good tobacco. You can try out, find out for yourself, and yeah, have a great day, have a great week. Take care, guys, and hope you are well, and perhaps see you again.